There are tons of exotics in Destiny 2, over 100 of them, and even more ways to build each and every one. But some exotics are better than others. Or are they?
Let's make a build with every single one at a time. This is Destiny Builds A to Z. For number 10 in our series, the exotic we're using is Ashen Wake. This is going to make it where fusion grenades gain increased throw speed, explode on impact, and stun unstoppable champions. Final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy. So this is going to function where essentially if you throw your grenade, it's going to act as if it has already on it fastball. So we don't actually need to take that mod if you prefer it. However, there's no really way to remove it. So keep in mind that your grenades are going to be like a laser beam. Those things are just going to go really, really far and really fast. For the second part there, where we can stun unstoppable champions with our grenades, that's fantastic. It's going to make it so that we don't really have to worry about unstopped champs for our weapons or anything else like that. We always have a way to stun them. And final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy. So that's going to make it so that per enemy we kill, we'll get a percentage back. So if you're killing at least 4 enemies, you'll just get your grenade right back. So it's perfect for ad clear and making sure that you can just throw grenades over and over and over again. However, as you'll see in the mod section, we're using a few mods to add some consistency to that, so we don't always have to kill 4 targets for endgame content, which you're going to be doing a little bit less frequently. For our subclass options, we're going to be using Hammer of Soul for our super. I just prefer it because it's ranged and it can just do a decent amount of damage, and it can be used for ad clear. However, you're more than welcome to use Burning Maul with this build if you prefer it. For our class ability, I'm going with Rally Barricade for that shorter cooldown. You can use a Towering Barricade if you prefer. Strafe Lift is just my preferred jump. You can use whichever. Then for our melee, we have Throwing Hammer. This is just excellent to be able to proc our primary aspect, mainly because you can get it back so quickly. You'll bounce it off an enemy's face, you can pick it up, and then use it right again after a very, very short cooldown. Versus something like Hammer Strike, where you'd have to wait for the whole cooldown to expire in order to be able to use it again. For our grenade, we're of course going with the Fusion Grenade to be able to pair with our exotic. Then, for our first aspect, we have Roaring Flames, where final blows with solar abilities or ignitions increase the damage of your solar abilities. This will stack 3 times over. It's also worth noting that this will help our super damage as well, as that counts for Roaring Flames. Then, we have Soul Invictus, where solar ability final blows, Hammer of Soul impacts, and defeating Scorch targets create sunspots. Your abilities regenerate faster, and your super drains more slowly while standing in a sunspot. Sunspots apply Scorch and deal damage to targets inside. Entering a sunspot applies Restoration, which will work with some of our fragments. The main thing that makes these so powerful is that these will also count for Roaring Flames. So if you get a sunspot, and then an enemy like a Thrall happens to run through it and die to that, that'll proc Roaring Flames for us and give us another stack. For our fragments, we have Ember of Torches for powered melee attacks against combatants will make us radiant. So we're using this, so when we just throw our hammer, either at close range or far, you can get radiant easy and be able to get a way to be able to kill barricade champions. Ember of Solace, where radiant and restoration effects applied to have increased duration. We're using this primarily so that we don't have to just be worrying about our timers all the time. Then we have Ember of Tempering, where solar weapon final blows grant you and your allies increased recovery for a short duration. This will stack 3 times. We don't really particularly care about that top part. The second part is what we do care about. While Ember of Tempering is active, your weapons have increased airborne effectiveness, and your solar weapon final blows will create a fire sprite. So it's really that last sentence where when your weapons will create fire sprite, and fire sprites, when picked up, will grant us grenade energy, which is just going to propel this build in order to keep that loop going. Then we have Ember of Empyrean. Solar weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. So it's making it so that we don't really have to worry about those timers all that much. and you can just keep on killing and always have radiation and restoration applied to you. Radiant, I mean. For our mods, we're going with a grenade and special ammo focus for our weapons. However, some of these can be swapped out depending on which weapon you want to go with in that energy slot. So we're going with Harmonic Siphon. For our rapid solar weapon final blows, we're going to create an orb of power for us. Then we have Ashes to Assets. We're going to gain bonus super energy on our grenade kills, which we'll be doing constantly. Then we have Special Ammo Finder here. You can change this out to Heavy Ammo Finder if you decide to use a energy weapon in your a primary weapon in your energy ammo slot. Then we have Firepower on our gauntlets. This is going to make it so our grenade final blows also create orbs of power for us. We're taking 2 grenade kickstart mods, so that way we get even more grenade energy back when we throw it. Then we have a Void Resistance mod and a Arc Resistance mod. You can swap these out to whatever you're currently facing. And on our chest piece, we have Charged Up, increases the maximum number of stacks of armor charge you can carry by 1, which will assist when we throw a grenade for proccing grenade kickstart. Then we have on our boots, Better Already. Your health begins to regenerate immediately after picking up an orb of power. This is just helping us out just that little bit more, just in case Radiant or Restoration falls off. Then we have Innervation, reducing our grenade cooldown each time we pick up an orb of power. Again, it's all about sustaining our grenade and making sure we always get it back. Then we have Stacks on Stacks. Picking up Orb of Power grants you 1 additional stack of armor charge, so in order to get to max armor charge, we only need to find 2 orbs. Then on our class item, we have Double Bomber, so when we do use our class item, our class ability, we get our grenade back a little bit more. And then we have finally Special Finisher, just in case we happen to run out of special ammo. If you are using a primary ammo weapon for your energy slot, you can swap this out for something like picking up orbs when you use your class ability, or something else similar to that, or just an additional bomber mod. For our weapons, I'm going with the double special loadout here with Scatter Signal, which has Slice and Control Burst on it, which is working well with Particle Deconstruction and providing us a way to stun unstoppable champions this season. However, you can swap this out for really anything you want. However, the important decision here is what we're using in our energy slot for a solar weapon. So we want something that scorches, which is the decision making behind this. So I'm using Prometheus Lens just because it synergizes well with the artifact this season. And this has Incandescent on it now, which is just helping spread that scorch around, and its exotic perk is going to make it so that while we have sustained damage on a target, we're also scorching them, giving us a little bit of grenade regen from our class abilities. So you can swap this out for if you prefer to not have double special going on. You can use something like Polaris Lance or Sunshot, or really even a energy weapon that is not even its exotic, and you can use something that just scorches and causes incandescent. It's really up to you. And then you could swap out your exotic weapon for your heavy and use something new like Finality's Augur or even 1000 Voices or anything else that you prefer. The main synergy that we're looking for here is that it is solar and can scorch, as that will make it so that when you kill them, they become a sunspot. Don't forget to experiment with different aspects and fragments to tailor the build to your playstyle perfectly. But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this guide, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on more builds and strategies. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or any questions you might have. Thank you for making it to the end, and, as always, keep on building.